latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Telling you guys a bit of a review on a product from Outwell. So with me today, I've got the Outwell Norwood 6 tent. So the Norwood 6 is basically a model that's been kind of in Outwell's collection for a couple of years now, and it kind of carries on into the 22 season. Very much almost unchanged, but I thought it'd be a good idea to give a little bit of video review about it, and obviously bring out some points that maybe make it different in comparison to what other pole tents there are on the market. So what we've got really here is essentially a free zone tent. So we've got sleeping, living, and then kind of a very generous front awning area which is completely enclosed. It sits in kind of our Select collection. It's a whole kind of collection designed to give you really good features at basically a pretty decent sort of price points. But there's a lot of Outwell-esque, I'm going to use that term, kind of features in here that unique to them. They've kind of painted it and they've had in their sort of kind of back catalogue for a few years now. So the tent itself, like I said, it uses a really nice 4000mm high studded head, running around about sort of 70-75 denier material. So it's kind of lightweight, fairly durable, but then it's also got a good waterproof level to back it up. We've got their kind of reinforced fiberglass poles, again to give you good stability. They're also color coordinated, so you've got your three main poles, and then the back one's got like a little black kind of almost like taping around it to dignify it. It's slightly smaller, so when you come to pitch it, it's much easier to do so. Pitching wise, I've done this tent on my own in the best part of about 13-14 minutes, and you can check out our own Attwoolls pitching and packing video on our YouTube channel and on our website. Of course, you want to see how simple and quick and easy it really was. It's perfect for going away for smaller trips, or if you're going away for week-long times, you can always do that as well. Even though it's kind of essentially a 6 berth, for me I foresee it being more of a comfy 4, just because of the sleeping arrangement. You can take up 6, but it'll be a little bit cramped kind of in that kind of bedroom section. We've got features that are unique to Outwell, such as their kind of storm time system. So it's their ability of actually, it's like a wrap-around kind of style. So you've got this Velcro part here, which can wrap around the poles. What that essentially does, it brings the fabric towards the pole, and then when you tension it out with a guy line, it brings it as one. It puts less strain on the actual seams itself, because the seams aren't taking the full brunt of it. You know, the pole's got a bit more stability, but it ties the two in together and again gives a bit more support all the way around. So that's quite a nice feature. I do like the fact also you've got a slightly higher sleeve here, so it doesn't come down any further. This makes feeding the poles in and putting up a lot more easier to do, to be perfectly honest with you. We've got tinted windows built in this as well, which you don't really see in kind of pole tents, certainly at this kind of level. So that way it gives you a little bit of privacy when you're sort of looking from the outside in. You tend to see more kind of shapes rather than necessarily any detail. It's worth mentioning that even though we've got a tent which is a sort of an ample size, you can extend it on by using Outwell's new front awnings. So the awnings actually attaches onto here, adds a complete enclosure again, comes with extra poles as well, so that's a really good option. We've got a separate kind of little review video and pitching video on one of the larger sizes, but it's quite a clever way of they can extend it on and make it still kind of very in keeping with it. All of the window sections that you see also have curtains that sort of toggle up to get the privacy as well, so if you wanted that ultimate amount of privacy in every sort of section, you've got that. We've got one side door located here with a really nice big mesh. Again, I like the fact that the detail along this is it zips along the bottom as well as along around the sides. Often you find some of the mesh doors or some of the normal doors, for example, will just kind of zip down along there and not necessarily cover the base. And that's one thing I do again like about this. You've got a physical zip along the base, so you won't get any drafts coming directly in from there. It drops down in terms of the bedroom section to reduce the height a little bit, but you can still kind of just sort of stand up in the main kind of living section quite happily. All of the kind of ring and pins are very easy to put in. What you find is also an adjustable strap down the bottom, so you can insert the ring and pin quite easily and then tension it to get the additional tension you need. The front panel, as we can see here, almost allows you to open up from right to left, so you can either open up sort of halfway or fully open. You also find there's additional kind of zip puller built onto the runner as well. So the joys of this is you can create a little kind of a veranda kind of effect. Admittedly, it's much easier to do it from the inside than it is from reaching over. But you kind of get the idea that you can kind of keep things like the kids and that sort of stuff quite nice and neatly in there, and dogs, but still have that airflow without them escaping. If you want to use it more like a conventional door, again, you just enter as you would normally. So if I pull this zip puller back up, so it means you can bring that door kind of halfway. There's actually kind of toggle points located here, so you can roll that back, keep it low that way, and then this would almost be kind of your entrance way, and then have a little bit of area for storage or cooking units located there. If you want to kind of create more of an open kind of canopy, of course what you can do is kind of unpeg it all, zip it back, and from there what happens is you can actually kind of roll this back and it'll kind of toggle in place. So I'll do a quick rush job on that now. Tends to be easier with a second pair of hands, but as long as it's got enough. What you find is you also get kind of a cord that tends to be kind of oversized, so even if you're not the best at kind of toggling it up, you can still quite happily do that. And then we've got this open kind of canopy. Now, what you can do is you can buy an additional ground sheet for this if you wanted to when you buy the footprint. So it comes as one, and then it can actually rise up a little bit to kind of create that bit more of enclosure. But let's kind of bring the camera around a little bit and talk through some more features that the Norwood has. So now we're looking like directly down it. The first thing we can probably see is this kind of door panel that kind of opens up into the section. So this really is quite nice. You've got a really big vent right at the top here to help with increase of the airflow. So you've got your bug barrier when you're in kind of the main living area from the side and obviously from the front. This panel again can obviously be opened up. So we can open that up nice and neatly. I like the fact it also has got a zip along the bottom as well as the top. There's not really a halfway point with this particular door, and if you want the ventilation fully done up, you can always zip that up as well to get the complete coverage. This door can kind of zip back all the way and actually zip back fully along the bottom, and there's a little kind of storage pocket that you can just kind of chuck it in, so you haven't got to worry about it too much. And then the zip on the base here actually completely detaches. So it means this can then come completely flat, and then you've got no sort of lip hazard in and out of the main section. When you have the footprint in place with the ground sheet, this then becomes a whole kind of living area, and you've got that sort of seamless kind of sort of swap between living and kind of front awning section. Interior height-wise, it's pretty decent. You know, I'm about 6'2". It's almost worth looking at if you like this concept but want it in an air form. Have a look at the Parkdale from Outwell. The Parkdale 6 is the same very much in terms of size and dimensions, just it's an air format. And that's one thing I'd probably say with the air, you've probably got a little more boxier sides, a bit more of a curved with kind of the fiberglass poles. The bedroom scenario at the back here, we've got the ability to sleep up to 6. We've got a 120, a 140, and then a 1 metre. For me, like I said, on the outside, it's more, I think, it's be a bit more of a 4 berth, i.e. parents going there, a kid to that side, you still can quite happily put an extra kid in here. But if you look at it from an airbed point of view, you know, 1/3 tends to be around about normal mark. So you probably get easily probably a double, maybe squeeze a double possibly in there, moving things across, and then a single in that side. So I think 5 with beds, 4 of them more comfy. All of the front of the doors have mesh built into them, so you have that airflow in and out as well to help with ventilation. Also, you got on this kind of this is going to be your master bedroom in the middle, i.e. your parents, because it's got the quick and quiet feature. So Outwell's quick and quiet feature is the ability to kind of come in and out without having to use the zips. What you've got is magnets running down this side here, so when you kind of open the fabric, it closes up behind you, as demonstrated by me. So you can come and go as you please. So you can go at the later night when the kids are quite nicely asleep, and it all fits nicely there. If you don't want to use that feature, you can still quite happily unzip, kind of zip that bit up, and just use it in more of a conventional door manner. So roll that back, and then that can toggle back into position and keep it open. You've got a slightly darker tint to the bedroom to hopefully reduce all early morning light, and hopefully mean that the kids kind of stay in a little bit longer than they need to. And then we've got here, we've got sort of a decent sized kind of sleeping bedroom from a depth. It's kind of sculptured at the back as well to kind of allow you to have higher beds if need be, admittedly probably the length's going to shorten you a bit, so I wouldn't say you're going to get cat beds in here. At the back we've got a really nice big ventilation point here, and that marries up with the one on the external side of things, so you can almost use that as a window looking out with the two vents lined up, so you can obviously get benefit from airflow in, but also visibility out to check on where the kids are. Divided between two sections are actually zipped, which you don't really see in pole tents, which again is a real big point of difference. It's zipped along the sides, immediately on the bottom it's just kind of laid flat. By zipping it up, it can become one big open bedroom, so you can have that as really as a big sort of 6-berth, anyone sleep anywhere, or kind of a 4 and a 2, a 2 and a 4, depending on how you really want to do it. In the side bedrooms, what you find is you've also got storage pockets built into it. So along here, storage pockets, and then also a cable entry point. So a lot of these features are really quite kind of high-end, and you don't see them poled often. That's why I think it's worth kind of a bit of difference. Another unique feature as well is you've got Outwell's hook track system. So it's ability of hanging a hanging point along a beading, like a kind of clothesline kind of style. You get these little hook tracks that clip on, creates a hanging point for a lantern, and you run the cables down to your main cable entry point. Your main cable entry point is probably going to be directly through kind of the door scenario here. So you can utilize kind of either through the lip where the zip would be. Failing that, there's one actually built into it, just located there. And there's even little Velcro tabs to run the cable up over to the hanging point in the lantern. Let's pick up the camera actually and come inside and try to give you a bit more of an up close and personal feel to the actual part itself. So we can see obviously the canopy depth really here is quite boisterous. In fact, to be fair, it's bigger than actually the main living area. So that's where, you know, for me buying the footprint is probably a really essential thing to do. You've also got an extra hanging point for a lantern located here as well as the fact that into the main sections, you can see we've got obviously the bedrooms. I've zipped the one on the right hand side up just initially. There's also a little storage pocket in the front of that right at the bottom, probably easy to show on this side here. So again, extra features which probably you wouldn't try to get a standard from any other brand. Big mesh panel down beneath that sort of blank panel to help with the airflow, and that's a little cable entry point located there. Darker bedrooms, as we sort of previously said about, and then the zip dividers work really nicely. Big mesh door on the side to again increase airflow and keep yourself really nice and structurally done. But I think all in all it sits really nicely. You can see that air vent's a bit clearer down the bottom there. From a colour, I think it's really nice kind of premium kind of green. At the back we've got this kind of multiple gyro systems. What it is designed to give a bit more flatter back to help increase that kind of the sort of depth at the back of the awning. Now we've got a nice big vent under here which you can kind of unzip, open up, and then obviously to have a bit more of an airflow into it. So, and that also can go on little stays to kind of keep permanently out. As we kind of come round, we've got a nice sort of side door as well, plenty of airflow, and then we've got the open front canopy again. So yeah, obviously it gives a bit more of an idea about kind of the Norwood and its total. I think for me it's a really nice model, and like I said, if you're looking for something that necessarily doesn't, it's not kind of a basic pole tent, I think that's where it speaks kind of volumes. You know, there's plenty of talking points throughout of it, as obviously we've kind of gone through for this video. I mean, it's a little bit odd in terms of space that the awning area is a little bit bigger, it's bigger than the living area, but by having that divisional door completely open, I totally get the fact that you can really make the most of any sort of area under cover, which is obviously one of the most crucial parts of kind of any camping trip when the weather does turn. So all I think it's a nice tent, got some unique features. You know, initially you do pay for those features, so if you have it like for like comparison to something like a Vanguard, for example, yes, it's going to be more money, but you can see where those details are and where the price points are. The fact, obviously, it's completely enclosed in terms of the curtain side of things on everywhere as well. The riser ground sheets, there's lots of little niggly little things. And if you want more information, of course, or a list of those, you can always check the link below this video. It'll take you straight through to our website where we've got everything from things like the pack size, floor dimensions, all the individual features. We've also got our pitching video located there as well, and obviously the price and offers and bundle deals and all those bits and bobs that you can get on this particular tent. But always let us know what you think as well. It's always great to hear back from you guys. Feel free to comment in the box below. Failing that, you can always email us directly if you have any questions or queries about it. But and always, if you want for more kind of YouTube videos on the latest kind of products, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We've got all things coming out nearly sort of daily through now until March time, I think, 22. So lots of content to come. But for more information, let us know. But that is our little video review on the Outwell Norwood 6 tent.